Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video here, doing some more commentary for, I say some more. This is San Antonio Regionals 2024, and we can see here we've got Roaring Moon versus a Miraidon, the Peony Miraidon. So I wanted to do some commentary for this competition. I haven't done a few for a little while, and I quite like Roaring Moon, and I know a little bit about Miraidon as well. The Peony build, I've not had the pleasure of playing with it yet. I believe it runs more like 18 energy, which is pretty bonkers. It's looking for that early Iron Hands hit, as well as just a general donk. So it's interesting stuff. Brandon, ooh, Baughn, Baughn, Brandon, and versus Gregory Playter. Gregory playing the Miraidon, Brandon playing the Roaring Moon. Did see there, it's got some trekking shoes in the Roaring Moon, so maybe a similar variant to what we saw in Stuttgart. Opening Radiant Greninja and the Iron Hands. Oh, it's a winning in, just to let you all know as well. So it's why not? Why not? So we're going to see turn one Ultra Ball here. It looks like the Beach Score is in hands, which is not going to do much for the hands in this case, only putting it down to a 3 energy retreat. Losing the Lost Vacuum there. Could be big coming in, depending on if Brandon does play the Ancient Booster Capsule. We actually don't, well, I say we, I don't know. This is my first time seeing this game. Trying not to watch a game beforehand to get an idea about what goes on in the game before I comment on it, of course, because that's not very authentic. Eyeing up, of course, that Miraidon EX makes sense. We can see a double turbo there in deck. Going to be doing a little prize check, seeing that the Flaffy is prized. I believe it's quite common for this version of Miraidon to actually just play a 1-1 Flaffy. So going to be not looking for a Dynamotor anytime soon. And here comes the tandem unit. Once again as well, if you're watching the channel and you're noticing there's been a lot of Miraidon, yeah, do you know what? It's been somewhat intentional. I mean, in this case it is, because oh, okay, Miraidon, I actually know Miraidon. And also kind of unintentional. I just started recording videos for local games, and a lot of them seem to feature Miraidon, seemingly because, oh, he's going for the Marie. Maybe there is more than one Flaffy in the deck. Yeah, so it just sort of ended up featuring a lot of Miraidon because that was what ended up winning games. And then, of course, did our interview with Alex Northy as he placed 12th in Stuttgart. That wasn't last week, was it? Week 4. Was it just last week? I think it was last week. I can't remember. Everything. It's all rolling into one. We're going to see an early Sealstone here. I would assume that we're going to get some Jenny. Oh, it's the Battle VIP pass. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Kind of interesting seeing Battle VIP pass in Miraidon. I believe it is a one of, but it does allow you to find, there they are, those non-lightning Pokemon, the Mew EX and the Squawker himself, the Squawkabilly EX, has become a bit of a staple for a lot of decks now in the format. Going to be very surprised not to see a Squawk and Seize from Brandon as well, as he comes into his first turn of the game. Now, this is an interesting position. Okay, so I think I'm realizing why the Mareep was chosen. I would assume that we're going to be looking to sacrifice the Mareep here, or force Brandon to either have an escape rope or to play the cross switcher. Of course, he's not going to want to be playing into that 2, 4, 6, 7 prize to win the game. Same really for Gregory as well. Both players going to be is a very high number of 2 prize Pokemon, and we're seeing 1 lightning energy off of that Jenny, off of the electric generator there. Look at the top 5. Pick up to 2 lightning energy attached to your Pokemon. Bench Pokemon, of course, as well. That'd be broken. So this is good. We've got the Raikou set up for next turn. Is going to be able to do double damage to that Greninja if need be, but probably not going to be choosing to do that. No Stadium in play from Gregory. Now, that's likely to be, well, it is in fact, because he had a Stadium in hand, but that's going to be knowing full well that he's playing against Roaring Moon. There's a little circle there on the Greninja. Obviously, the casters are talking about something completely different to me. But of course, Roaring Moon does feed off of Stadiums. Oh, it's going to be leaving the Iron Hands in place. So it looks like maybe there was no way to switch out into the Mareep for that extra prize. Got to be unhappy with that. If the Frenzied Gouging comes in here, I wouldn't be too unhappy with it. Oh, it looks like there's a Town Store in hand. So wouldn't be too unhappy to see a Frenzied Gouging to take this Iron Hands out just to get ahead of the prizes, which is key in these 2 prize big basic decks. Matchups, I should say. And looks like just doing a little prize check is going to be eyeing up that Forest Seal Stone. Do we have the Galarian Moltres either in hand or available? In some respects, so Battle VIP Pass in deck. That's not what you want it. You want it in hand turn 1. So yeah, I'm going to be town storing for the Forest Seal Stone. There is the Galarian Moltres V, and it's going to allow Brandon to get whatever he wants. Thinking about it, thinking about it. Yeah, he's doing it. Here we go. So Galarian Moltres V is not a bad attacker, doing 190 damage. It does damage itself, which is kind of annoying, but really one of the key things here is that Dire Flame Wings, being able to accelerate more energy into play, very well utilized, and it is going to be a Battle VIP pass with that Sealstone. Yeah, so the Dire Flame Wings really does help to be utilized with the energy switch, which I'm assuming Brandon's playing probably 4 of. And it looks like we're going to see Roaring Moon and the Squawkabilly EX. Looks like we're going for max rarity here from Brandon. No expenses spared. We've got the Shiny Energy, we've got the Rev Hollow VIP passes, we've got the expensive Moons, we've got the expensive Moltres V, the expensive Squawkabilly, and the Shiny tool card there. Ancient Booster Capsule is going to put Roaring Moon onto 290 HP, so nice and bulky for sure. Attached Return. Oh, it does have a lot of Dark Energy in hand, so we're going to be happy to be Squawk and seizing all these Dark Energy. And oh, it looks like there's a Sardus. This is interesting. Do we say, well, no, okay, we're going to dump this Sada in favor of hoping to find another one. There's called the argument to be made for, well, I could just Sada now to guarantee the energy. I can't really see what he's got in hand. His cards are so shiny, it's hard to tell. Earthen Vessel. Discarding another Darkness Energy, going to get 2 more Darkness Energy. Just thinning is winning here. There's not many left. I think, is that the last 2? Holy moly, I think that's the last 2 in deck. So we're seeing pretty much all the energy now in the field here. Both players on 5-0-1. So this is, as the little animation showed at the beginning, this is the win and stay in for both players. This is tournament point for them. This is going to be the difference between getting some points, I think, and not getting... Well, actually, I don't know if I'm sure about whether it's getting points and not getting points, but it's going to be a big one. You have attached return, sir. My apologies. My apologies. Okay, here's that Dire Flame Wings. So Moltres is going to be able to get an energy himself into play. Now, only need a Dark Patch, a switch, and oh no, it's a bluff. It's a whiff. Would have needed Sada, energy switch, switch out for the Greninja, of course. Now it looks like Gregory now is going to be able to use that town store to get his own Bravery Charm. So Iron Hands EX is going to, I'm assuming it goes on to Iron Hands EX, it's going to have 280 hit points now, which is huge, and is going to be able to threaten potentially an amp you very much. Although, oh no, okay, so that is going on the Miraidon for 270 HP, which works too. Now we do see 2 Lightning Energy, which is going to hit the field onto that Miraidon. Is the Iron Hand stuck? Is the Iron Hand stuck here? Now I can see a Boss, Raichu, and Ultra Ball. Yeah, okay, so there's currently no way to switch out. Going to be probably looking to burn cards and restart. So obviously wouldn't be surprised to see no Pokemon coming into hand here from that Ultra Ball. Nope, okay, fail the search, of course. Now what I really like about these decks and why I do better with these decks than any other, they're not the most complicated. They're not the most complicated, so you can really dive into the more complicated plays a lot more quickly. But also, they just go fast. They just go fast. They're simple and they go fast, and I like that. So we're going to see the restart there for 2 cards. Going to be looking for a switch. I can see an energy, and I can see a Pokemon. I think that's going to be a pass. Think about it. Think about it. Tidy your board, and yeah, so we've got Zapdos and Lightning Energy. So Brandon gets another chance here to get ahead of the game. Town Store, thinning the deck. Going to be seeing maybe a Bravery Charm, which I would assume could go on that Greninja or the Squawkabilly, just to give it a bit of protection. Well, it's probably not much point on either, actually, thinking about it, because they are both weak to Lightning. No, we're going to see an Ancient Booster Capsule. Are we going to see a search out for the Roaring Moon EX? Could there be a Tech Brute Bonnet here? I actually don't know the list. So actually seeing a Brute Bonnet hit the field, attach the Ancient Booster Capsule, and then poisoning the Iron Hands EX would mean that he could just use Calamity Storm for 220 damage, and the poison knocks out the Iron Hands, and that would be favourable, of course, because it actually would force Gregory to have to play the Zapdos. So we're going to find out, I think, pretty soon here. Squawk number 2 is gone. Energy is gone. Oh, I think you have to kind of go for Luminion, don't you? Yeah, you've got to go for Luminion. You need the Sada. And I can see something else. Oh, that's the Sada. Yeah, okay. So he's going to Luminion straight away for the Sada. We're not wasting any time here, gents. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Well, I say it's unfortunate. It's fine because you're drawing. You've just thinned 2 cards out of the deck. You're about to draw 3, so that's 5 cards thinner. We're going to see a Roaring Moon or that Brute Bonnet, of course, come into play for the tool card. Right now, only 1 target for the Sada, which I suppose is a shame because you could do it up to 2 of your ancient Pokemon. A little flick of the table there with his 3 cards. Is he happy with them? Oh, no. Okay, we might be eyeing up Dark Patch here. I don't believe... Okay, Dire Flame Wings, yeah. Both these decks right now... Oh, there's the Morpeko. Okay, so Morpeko, whilst it has no energy on it, does have free retreat, which is funky. 2 energy, 70 damage, and then put 2 energy onto one of your bench Pokemon. So it's a bit of synergy there. We've got a lot of energy now in play. We've got 5 in play. So yeah, a little bit of synergy for the Morpeko into this deck. We're seeing the energy switch. The energy switch is going to allow the Greninja to get out of the way. No Brute Bonnet. So it's probably going to have to be the Frenzy Gouging for the automatic knockout. Although, could you make the argument and say, well, actually, you're not doing a lot. Maybe I could just punch you once and punch you again. Because this 4 energy retreat is pretty huge. No, is going to take the prizes. I probably would have done the same myself. 200 damage goes onto the Roaring Moon. And assuming he takes the bottom 2 prizes, going to take a Dark Patch and a Darkness Energy. 2 Roaring Moon there in the prize cards isn't great. If this one goes down, we're only going to have 1 more to work with. Now, 190 damage off of this Galarian Moltres V in this situation isn't amazing. It can't actually knock out the Raikou. You're going to be having to boss up either the Squawk or the Mew in order to do anything useful. Gregory now is probably thinking about whether or not it's possible to do Iron Hands. There it is, it's coming into play. Iron Hands onto the Roaring Moon is going to be 3 prizes, half the game taken in an instant. I mean, that's another potential argument there for not even taking that knockout and just doing, say, 220 damage and not giving them the town and taking the town store away, or even just hitting for 100 with Calamity Storm and not removing the stadium. Are we going to see 2 energy? I see 1. I see 1. I mean, it's got to go on the Iron Hands. There's nothing else really, is there? Pretty good, pretty good. Now at this point, an attachment of a double turbo energy, another electric generator is 3 prizes for Gregory. Although at this point, I don't think it's going to happen. We're going to be drawing 1 off of the ability here. Oh, manual attachment to the Mew. So this is interesting. I've done this myself as well. Playing Miraidon against Roaring Moon is actually attacking with the Mew. So the Mew with a Bravery Charm can do Frenzy Gouging, which is pretty good. It is weak to Dark, unfortunately, so that can be knocked out without the Bravery Charm by Calamity Storm without discarding a Stadium. Super annoying. But yeah, Mew is an attacking option in this matchup. Again, it can actually do 190 to the Moltres, which again, not amazing, but it's nice to have the option, I think. So I can recognise Gregory's willingness here to prep that Mew to do something. Although I think I would prioritise powering up my main attackers, which is, of course, the Iron Hands. And I think we're going to see our first 2 prizes now for Gregory. Yeah, down goes Roaring Moon. Now this is a bit of a peachy of a situation here. We do have free retreat off of the Morpeko, but we don't have anything to attack with. It'll take a lot here to get things moving. So we're going to be able to thin the deck out with another tool card if there's any left. I think there's a Bravery Charm left. Yep, I can see a Bravery Charm there. Bravery Charm can go on something. I would almost wish that for a Sealstone wasn't sat on that Moltres now, so that it could have some kind of damage modifier that's plus 10 or plus 30. But of course, probably not being played in this deck, it would be very situational to just be like, do you know what, I want that just so that my Moltres can hit a Raikou. There is a Roaring Moon. At least we're going to be able to play the game now. I see Dark Patch, I see Sada. Eyeing up your energy. There's okay. Okay, so I didn't actually notice the water energy. So there is going to be a potential here for some shenanigans. There's double Dark Patch in hand. So maybe just making sure, double sure that there's not any mistakes making where you're going to solder a Dark Energy and not have anything to Dark Patch with later. For me personally, in my sort of experience playing Roaring Moon, I've not been a massive fan of the water energy, but I respect other players wanting to use it, and it looks like she's going to be powering up that Moltres once again. We've seen one energy switch. Oh, okay, nice. This boy's loaded now. This boy's absolutely loaded up. He's going to have to. So I'm thinking maybe actually now as well that energy went onto the Mew. There's that energy there. I mean, potentially we could see a Frenzy Gouging on a 290 HP Pokemon, which is great. Alternatively, it could just be spreading the energy out, ready for the Raichu. The Raichu's going to need 5 energy to knock out this Roaring Moon. Has another 2 prizes. Now Brandon just naturally needs a boss and an energy to win this game because he's got 2 energy already. Well, he doesn't even need energy, does he? He just needs boss to win the game here because he can just boss up the Squawk or the Mew and do 190 damage for the GGs. And I think that's just going to be a scoop there. That is a scoop for Gregory. So 1-0 goes to the Roaring Moon. Interesting. I need to put some more time. I've just been playing a little bit of Roaring Moon this morning, actually. My version. I really like it. But what I found with this version of Roaring Moon, which it's just what been exemplified there, is that getting that turn 1 or even turn 2 can be really challenging. Without the Pokestop piling through the deck, it can be quite challenging to actually see anything that allows you to attack early enough, which is kind of strange. And that, for me, always felt like the draw, like the appeal of Roaring Moon. So we're going to see, we're seeing a replay here. So this is the first Frenzied Gouging, the first 2 prizes of the game. For Brandon, excuse me. Here's that return KO, but ultimately, I think that, I mean, it's interesting because it's like, well, was that kind of an early scoop? He had the Zapdos in hand. He has used the V-Star, so maybe he's just thinking he's definitely got the boss. I don't know, that's interesting. I don't know if that was maybe an early scoop there, because he did have the Zapdos in hand, unless he binned it off at some point, I didn't see it. But the Zapdos in hand, 220 damage plus 10 from the Zapdos from the Miraidon. It's a knockout on... Oh no, of course it's got 290 HP, isn't it? Okay, yeah, no, that makes much more sense. Not having a Lost Vacuum as the Miraidon player does mean that the matchup is a lot more difficult, especially if you're in a position where you don't have to Frenzy Gouge him because your Pokemon does your opponent's Pokemon has 250 just 200 HP, and you can do the Calamity Storm for 220. Going to see the prize cards here for our second game. No, we're not. We're just going to see his fist bump. We don't get to see prize cards. Oh, there we go. Oh wow, and so we've got 4 Pokemon there in the prizes. Zapdos, Raichu, Iron Hands. No big hitters there for Brandon. So I think you could probably make do with pretty much what everyone's got. I think the Raichu is probably one of the more important ones, but that's more of a mid to late game because it takes time to get those energy into play. Although with 18 energy and 4 generators, maybe that's not quite the case. But it looks like Gregory is choosing to go second here, which is it's a difficult one because you, as Gregory, need a lot to get turn 1 knockout on a 230 HP basic, and actually what you need is it happen to be in the prize cards. So now you're just kind of giving Brandon an extra turn of getting moving. I suppose you're hoping that he can't find the BIP passes to get Pokemon into play. That would be my assumption. But with the Squawk and Seas here, I don't think he's going to be too unhappy to actually be going first. He's just going to be able to get to where he needs to be a lot faster. Dark Patch as well, valuing the item cards. Makes sense. It will probably be a shame to have no energy in that discard pile, though. Yeah, you got to do it. What are you losing there? Energy Switch. Is that an Energy Switch? Every card in his deck is like the most expensive one. I think that's Energy Switch. Gonna see a fresh set of cards. I think I see. Oh, that's Switch card and an Ultra Ball here. So we do have another Darkness Energy in the hand. Is that a Roaring Moon in hand? Oh, sorry, that's a Water Energy as well. That is another Roaring Moon. Excuse me, in hand, and it is now into this discard pile. I think we're going to see a Greninja. Greninja isn't prized. Yep, there he is. He's going to hit the table. Okay, Radiant Greninja into play. Going to have to draw more cards. This is a really good turn one here from Brandon. I've got to go back and play some more of this version of Roaring Moon for sure. Getting prepped for Liverpool. Of course, Roaring Moon now is forever going to have a soft spot in my heart. It's my first ever cup win. You got to be happy about that. You're always going to remember your first one. Right? you always remember your first. I remember my first City Championships. I remember my first City Championships as a master as well. Always going to remember the Roaring to the Moon, baby. And it looks like it's going to be a pass over. And off the top, I believe, was the Battle VIP pass. It's like, yes! Power hand that. Every day of the week. Just checking as well on my other screen. Yep, so you can see the timer. So we have half an hour left. That's pretty good. Going to see but he's going to be noticing now. I assume Gregory will notice now that he does not have access to the Zapdos. Big sad, big sad. And one Iron Hands is of course also AWOL. Eyeing up. I don't know if that's intentionally put to the front or whether just the bottom card deck was the Bravery Charm. Could be intentionally eyeing that up because that is a useful card. Interesting. I suppose it makes sense actually. That just saying, hey, do you know what? I am pretty scared of that Calamity Storm for 220, so I'm not even going to put the Raikou in play unless I can guarantee the Bravery Charm on it. Although thinking about it, if you've got two Bravery Charms and they've both kind of got to go on these Miraidons or the Iron Hands. Oh, has he got double Seal Stone in hand? That's crazy. Why did he not find a Raikou? That's interesting. I suppose it goes back to being worried about having 200 HP and just getting knocked out if there's one stadium in play. Or could be opting to burn cards. No, he's going to look for that Luminion. Okay, it's going to be a Peony. Oh, that is sad. That is real sad to be losing your second Earthen Sealstone. Oh, sorry, Forest Sealstone, not Earthen Sealstone. Oh my god, that is a silly slip if ever I saw one. Earthen Sealstone, of course, probably the least loved of the three Sealstones. I believe it was a 3 energy attack. Did 100 to each of your opponent's benched Vs, I think, or Vs and EX or something like that. Yeah, I mean, well, there you go. I can't remember what it does because it's not even that good. Sky Sealstone had its time, if you might remember. V-Star power, and then you hit your opponent's VMAX and V-Stars, I believe, for an extra prize card if they're knocked out that turn. So it was played for a while in the old Turbo Lost Box. I suppose it was slightly less turbo because you didn't have access to Forest Sealstone, but I think in the end everyone just decided that you needed the speed of the Forest Sealstone. And we're going to be getting Peony for the double. Oh, we haven't squawked yet either. Okay, this is a really good example of why people will choose to play this absolute bonkers version of Miraidon. And there's an example of why you should never play this absolute bonkers version of Miraidon. Oh my god, what in tarnation. Yeah, yeehaw, we are down. We are down and out in Texas, baby. Number 2. you gotta get 2, haven't you? You just go home. Got nothing again. Oh my god. Dude, just pick your cards up now, brother. I mean, you've just hit nothing off of 2 generators. Oh, okay, you can restart before you score. Of course you can. Yeah, makes sense. Still, oh, there's one. Okay, is that an energy? No, okay, it is. There's an energy and a Bravery Charm. So Bravery Charm is going to go, yeah, we're going to have to see a free retreat pivot here for the Miraidon. And Squawk and Seize for a fresh 6. Oh my god, you're on stream, winning it. Oh my god, winning in as well, winning in, and you just gambling, baby. You're just gambling, and you know what? You come up short every time. I mean, you're betting on. Oh, no. Yeah, pack it up, baby. Just pack it up. You Brandon's laughing, brother. Oh my god, no, 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 no. You got none in 15 cards, brother, and you're playing like 18 energy, I think. Brandon, do not shuffle that deck, okay? He is shuffling it perfectly fine by himself. He does not need your help to shuffle that deck. And Bravery Charm is going to force the Frenzied Gouging. He's thinking about it. It's kind of hit the table now, brother. Oh no, he's got the free retreat. Of course he does. Is he just going to give up the... Oh, you could for a Seal Stone. No, okay, he's going to sit and pass. So he's still got the V-Star power, so it's not all she wrote yet. There's a Trekking Shoe. And there's the Sada. We've got a Water Energy and a Darkness Energy. Water Dark. I think we've lost... I think Brandon has now lost 2 energy switch, though, which is kind of annoying. It's not good. It means you're not really going to see any... You're going to struggle to see much from this Greninja at this point. Okay, we've got 4 Switch Cart, which we like to see for sure. Earthen Vessel is going to discard the Ultra Ball. Makes sense. We've got pretty much all the goobers we need in play. Getting 2 more Darkness Energy, which is going to be good for discarding for the Greninja, drawing 2. So while Gregory is having the worst day of his life, Brandon is just having the time of his life. And yeah, that Beach Court is going to be potentially going to be yeeted here. We have seen the supporter though. 2 new cards. If Brandon plays Cross Switcher, see, this is why I really like Cross Switcher in Rory Moon as well, and it has the ability to play Cross Switcher. It's not too much of an issue for the deck to play Cross Switcher. Is that Ultra Ball? What are we Ultra Balling? Oh no, it's another Earthen Vessel. Just trying to thin the deck as best as possible. Yeah, like double Cross Switcher here would just be beautiful. You can Cross Switcher up the Limini, you can Cross Switcher up the Mew, you can Cross Switcher up the Squawk. Basically just avoid the Bravery Charms and then Frenzied Gouging later. But that is probably not the case here for Brandon. He has his deck runs in a different strategy. Same Pokemon, different strategy. Eyeing up that Dark Patch. Yeah, makes sense. So this is the other thing. If you're balancing Water and Dark Pokemon, you need to be a lot more. You need a lot more presence of mind when it comes to what's in your discard pile and what's not. Now it's going to be drop the Morpeko. We like to see it, and the Frenzied Gouging is going to be the first 2 prizes of the game here, I believe. Yeah, it's going to have to be. Yeah, so 2 prizes now for Brandon. Now it's not the end of the world. It's not great, but it's not the end of the world for Gregory, because he could actually again Iron Hands 3 prizes. He'd struggle to do another Iron Hands, but he could Iron Hands for 3 prizes. Now there is a 4th generator in deck somewhere. That Raichu, of course, is in the discard pile, so that's not happening. Zapdos is in the discard pile, so that's also not happening. Looks like he's failing the tandem unit. Interesting to see the escape rope. Escape rope could be useful just to pull up something that's not whatever's in the active. Of course, sort of acts as a less capable gust card / boss card, but going to be opting to just throw it in the discard pile there. And getting the Flafster. Miraidon hits the table. Okay, we got Rod. What are you going to Rod? 3 energy? And then try and generate her again? Can't possibly be. I think you need to get the Iron Hands out, because I believe the other one is prize. I don't know if there's one. I didn't see it. I've sort of lost track. With whiffing 3 generators, I've completely lost track of where that other Iron Hands is, whether it's in deck or in the discard pile. I don't know if it's in the bin, if if it's in there. There's definitely one in the prizes. Going to be restarting for 3 fresh ones. I think I see a boss's orders. Interesting. Manual attachment goes down for the Miraidon. I think just to stay in this prize game, you almost want to be bossing. I wouldn't hate it, just bossing up the squawk and taking 2 prizes now, and then going for the Iron Hands later. It's definitely a play. I don't believe a supporter has been played yet. I think he's sort of eyeing. Well, he's got Peony. What are you peoning now? What's left to peon it? You ain't got much left. Still hasn't used his V-Star power though, so Gregory does have a few options available to him. And which one is it? Yeah, he's gonna be. Yeah, I like it. I do like this. Because what you could actually force here is that the other Roaring Moon comes up in Frenzy Gouging. Now you've got 2 Pokemon in the field with like no HP. You could use a single prize attacker, which is just pulled out of the prizes, in order to knock one of those out. You know, Zapdos doing 110 is very strong. But it looks like Brandon opts to go with the Big Moon with the big damage on it. He's the only one in play with 3 energy. Does he have a boss of his own? Oh, he does. I was going to say, does he have the boss of his own in hand? And it turns out he does. So essentially now, I believe if you boss up this Luminion, then you've... Have you kind of won? You've kind of won, really. Going down to 2 prizes left. I mean, your Roaring Moon gets knocked out, I suppose, for 2 prizes, but you have a fresh Roaring Moon. Whereas if you are Frenzy Gouging this active Miraidon EX, then you are left with 2 very heavily damaged Pokemon in play. Going to see a draw of 2 there from the Radiant Greninja, discarding a Darkness Energy. One of those cards is a Battle VIP Pass. You hate to see that. Now, he could here heal 30 damage with the Switch card. That is better than a poke in the eye with the Sharp Stick, I would say. And then actually, he could heal 30 damage. Could mean okay, yeah, okay, that makes more sense to bring up the. Oh, you know what though? Taking the Mew out is very good, but Gregory hasn't used V-Star power yet, so actually taking out the Luminion could be like a real just game lock. Doesn't opt to use that switch card. I suppose it's not the most relevant thing in the world here, although he does have 90 HP. Now, if he's got 90 HP left because of the tool card, which he does, Zapdos does 110, I believe, so 110 damage. So if you do heal 30 off, it would actually mean that the Zapdos cannot knock out the Roaring Moon. So that could potentially be a bit of a misplay. And now he's got the Peony. He's going to be able to also, if he wants to, for a Sealstone later, could next turn for a Sealstone for a research if they are played in the deck. You are going for it again, aren't you, my young man? He's going to just have to go for another generator, 4th time lucky. I swear to God, if you don't hit at least 5, I say at least 5, you should be hitting like 6 or 7 energy off of these 5 cards at this point, because that is just ridiculous if you don't. Like, look, like every 3rd card is is an energy. Oh, now that's pretty big though. The Lost Vacuum could be pretty huge here. No stadium in play now. Right, Jenny's, please. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, finally, a little bit of redemption. 3 out of 5 ain't bad. Yeah, so this is interesting now. We're going to see, what are you doing, son? I suppose what he wants to do is preserve the Zapdos for the 10 damage, because I think the Super Rod has been used. That's kind of annoying. Although you got to kind of hope now. You pretty much you just have to hope to draw the Raichu, don't you? You have to hope to get the Raichu off the prizes. I think that's your best bet here. Knockout with the Zapdos. Concede a knockout. Obviously, you have to concede a knockout for the Zapdos. You've lost 3 energy, but you've got 3 in play. Oh, well, you have 2 in play because you're about to retreat from the Miraidon. And then you're going to have to, with 2 in play, well, you can't do it. Oh, no, yeah, so 2 in play, you lost Vacuum their tool card, put them down to 230 HP, and then you will attach and Dynamotor for 4 energy in play, and that's your knockout. But then how are you retreating? How are you going to retreat, though? You haven't got free retreat in play. God damn, he just used a V-star power to get a basic energy. That's insane. But I suppose if that's what you need, that's what you need. Is there no energy in the discard pile? Oh, he smokes. Not much left of that deck, and about half of it, it's got to be energy because he hasn't generated. Yep, so it was a manual attachment. We're going to see that retreat. Get the bravery charm for sure, mate. Here goes big Zapdos, big damage, 110 from the electric ball. Unfortunately, lightning symbol does not affect Zapdos. Dynamo for turn. Oh, of course, you can Dynamo to now. You've got attached Dynamo to next turn. What do you, though? You're seeing Raichu Iron Hands. And you've got no restart. This is a pickle. This is definitely a pickle for Gregory. Brandon, considering the concession of 3 electric generators, Brandon's position isn't actually that good, that good. And I suppose this is a sort of an example of why Roaring Moon is not as good as I thought it was when we first came out. It's just not that good. It's just not that powerful. I mean, even against possibly one of the worst situations that a Miraidon player could come into, where you get nothing out of 3 generators, dumping the hand, dumping all resources to find it, it's still struggling. The Roaring Moon is still struggling in what is generally traditional. I say traditionally, they're new cards, but it's supposed to be a good matchup. Going to see 2 off of the Greninja, and I believe there's a Sada there. I think you do you want? Is there? There must be. I think they play. I would assume Brandon plays 2 boss. I've only seen 1. I don't know if 1 has been discarded. It's hard. I've got to be honest with you. When it comes to these shiny cards, whew, I struggle. I struggle with the shiny cards. Is there a world where we see a Greninja play? I'm just thinking aloud at this point. There's not a massive impact for a Greninja play. You could knock out the Flap. You could soften up the Bravery Charm on that Miraidon, which is very good. And actually, do you know what? It's not bad because you soften up the Miraidon. Let's say you hit Miraidon, you've actually bench locked them out of the Raichu, which is very good. But I think he's just going for a pass here, which makes sense. Oh my god, is this it? Oh yeah, that is it. That is it. He just retreats. Oh wow, how did Gregory pull that? That was exceptional. Okay, so I take it all back. Do not pack up your cards just because you failed 3 generators. Like JW once said after his regional win, Miraidon's a really, really, really good deck when you hit generators, but it's still a good deck when you don't. And I think that's testament to that. So Brandon now probably on the back foot after losing what probably should have been the win, the simplest win of his life. But I think in retrospect, maybe his draws weren't as good as they could have been either. And I don't think the what I said about Greninja play and bench locking, that wouldn't have made any difference there to the outcome of that game. So I quite enjoy the fact that I've just seen that I was completely wrong about the situation. Like seeing 3 generators just whiff like that back to back is hilarious. For me, that's just enough to consider packing packing it up. But it's good to see Gregory finding a route back to victory. And we're going to see a game 3, and I don't know. I don't know if we've got that much time here. Maybe like 10 minutes. I mean, it could be enough. It seemed like that game went on for a really long time. I suppose when you whiff in, okay, we've got about a quarter of an hour. Yeah, so by the time they finish shuffling up, we're gonna have about 12 minutes, I would assume, on the clock. Okay, we've got boss. That all-important boss is hitting the prizes there. We've got a collapse stadium, which we haven't seen to use in any effect yet. Collapse stadium, I've been mulling over it in Roaring Moon about whether or not I want it or not. I've chosen not at the moment, and it looks like Gregory is going first. Brandon choosing second as the loser of that last game, which is the privilege of the game, so to speak. Now, I've chosen to start with the Squawk active and start with a Raichu on the bench. Don't know if the Raichu is that necessary this early. I suppose with the amount of energy and the generators, you could argue that an only 2 energy prize actually not a bad call to get the Raichu going early. I mean, I'm talking as if I know, and just going back to it again, as if I know what the list is. If you watch the real cast, you'll probably find that the cast is actually knowing the list. We're able to say, oh yeah, traditionally this style plays 18 energy, but this one only plays 14, or this one only plays 15, and that would make more sense as to why he whiffed 3 generators. Getting the Miraidon play. No reason really for Brandon to focus on that Flaffy unless he can knock out 2 single prizes. Yeah, so having the ability to dynamite every turn, that becomes the question, doesn't it? Is whether or not you value knocking out the Miraidon just so that it can't dynamite. And it's case by case situation, but on the face of it, you would always say no. Really, you would say, well, my knockouts need to take 2 prizes, and Miraidon is worth 1, so I'm just going to ignore that. Was that the That was the Squawk, yep. So we squawked, we found the Battle VIP, we're finding the Mew EX. Better start here for Gregory. This is a very good start. This is going to have a lot of people questioning whether or not maybe we should be choosing to go first in this matchup, whether you're Roaring Moon or the Miraidon. Oh, here we go again. It's got to hit it. Yeah, there you go. Redemption. Redemption. Yep, makes sense. Spreading the energy out there just in case the Miraidon gets knocked out. Does only have 220 HP, so Calamity Storm is enough for the Roaring Moon. But without cross switches, the chance of it being played active here is basically nothing. Has bench locked himself, Gregory, out of being able to play Zapdos for that one-hit knockout, which is big sad. And yes, of course, they're playing the Miraidon now. I don't believe Brandon plays Escape Ropes. I'm of the opinion. I mean, obviously, switch cards are really good. You got your basic Pokemon. You're doing damage to yourself. It makes sense. However, I think that if you're not being able to cross switcher because you got to move fast as Roaring Moon, because it seems to be that mid to late game you start to burn out. If you're not running the cross switches, you need to run away of pushing whatever your opponent's active Pokemon is back into the bench. And the only logical solution there, logical answer to that would be Escape Rope. But unfortunately, I don't believe there's an Escape Rope here in Brandon's deck if it plays anything like the deck that played in Stuttgart. And apologies as well, I can't remember the name of the player. I believe it was a 9th place list. Here we're going to see the Radiant Greninja hitting the field. 8 minutes left on the clock. Gregory moving fast, setting the board up. Are we going to see... I don't think we'll see a tie here. It can take... I mean, if you get 7 minutes of play and then 3 turns, that should be the game, really. I'd be very surprised to see a tie here. But stranger things have happened. 2 off the top. Not the most useful 2. And we're going to see the Ultra Ball discarding what looks like another Ultra Ball and a boss. It's got to be the Squawk, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to be getting the Squawk here. Squawking. Now, Brandon here's got to be thinking about wanting probably, and it's not terrible, is to draw a prize with the Morpeko. So Morpeko doing the 70 damage and then powering up the bench Roaring Moon would be quite an optimal play. I respect that, choosing to use the water energy, getting 3 fresh cards. Booster. Oh, he's got the switch, but he doesn't have the Morpeko for the free retreat. So he's going to have to just hope we can Squawk. Yeah, we're going to Squawk. Losing an Ino and a Dark Patch. 5, 6 pretty useless cards, I should think, for the most part. We've got Earthen Vessels for some more energies. But there's not a lot to do with them. Yeah, it's going to have to be the Double Darks. Do we have another Earthen Vessel? We do. And we're going to use that to get another Darkness Energy in that discard pile. 6 minutes on the clock. Are we going to need to utilize those 6 minutes? interesting situation now coming in for this last game, and it is a pass there. There's nothing else for Brandon to do on his board, so all of the chips really are being held by Gregory at this point, if you can believe it. He's just checking the discard pile, and eyeing up the Ultra Ball. We're going to be losing the Luminion here. Ultra Ball for the Flaster. I don't know what else there is. Or is it just a fail? No, it is. It's Ultra Ball for the Flaster. Straight in with that. It must have a switch card in hand, or is he just going to... Oh, okay, can Peonia for the... Oh, yes, Peonia for the Escape Rope. And the Jenny. See, this is what I'm talking about, having that ability to push your opponent's single prize active Pokemon to the bench. This is where really needing that Morpeko, having another single prize Pokemon in play for Brandon would completely negate the effect of this escape rope. Essentially, it would just push another single prizer, which would be nice. And Generate does nothing. You may as well just not play Generators at this point. Just take them out. And Escape Rope played. Gregory very clear on what he's playing up. Now this is tough. He's gonna have to concede. Yeah, Brandon's just gonna have to concede 2 prizes. Energy, Raikou, Energy. Now, the funny thing about this this deck here is obviously with the Mew EX, Iono does nothing to Gregory. It seemed to play off of it basically no cards all the time anyway. I think if I was to put some money in right now, I would say that the money is on Gregory to win this. Like I said earlier, he is holding all the chips. The only kind of chip he's not is Chip Ice Pickaxe. And we're just taking KOs by the looks of it. Okay, we're just taking KOs. Now, this is a situation here for Gregory. Can he find 5 energy? He's got 2 in play. He's got 1 in hand. He's can Dynamite at 1. So can he find 1 energy to knock out this Roaring Moon and put Brandon into just the worst position? Now, the Zapdos isn't going to have a big effect here. Maybe he's thinking about Peony for the Vacuum and a card. Well, no, because he hasn't even powered up the Miraidon, so that's a completely pointless statement there. Energy goes down. It's got to be Peony, right? There's the Peony discarding double turbo, and I believe the Raikou. 5 energy all blocked up together there. You better shuffle those right in and up to the top. And a Bravery Charm. Bravery Charm. This is pretty smart because Bravery Charm on the Raichu is going to force the Frenzy Gouging as a return knockout. Oh no, it's just going to be double Generate. He doesn't want to risk it. He does not want to risk it. And I respect that. We've whiffed 4 generators in this set, at least. I can't remember game 1, so I don't know. It could have been more. I can't remember if he whiffed any on game 1. He might have whiffed a couple, but in the last 2 games, he's whiffed 4 generators out of what, 5? No, 6. Excuse me, 6. Here's number 7. There's 1, and I think that is a knockout. Yeah, with the Dynamo, it would be a knockout. So any extra energy now is just setting up for next turn, really. Here we see the power. He's doing multiple actions all back and forth. It's another it's another whiff. 6 whiffs. Brandon this time is not laughing about it though. I think he can see that, oh dang, this isn't good. This is not good at all. It's the sort of situation where you wish you could rip a research, but I don't think the deck plays any research, and actually if you rip a research you've got problems because you can't use the Sada. Is that another generator? No, that was restart. No EXs in play. Gonna do 300 damage for the knockout for 2 more prizes. Doesn't have the Bravery Charm, so actually, it has the Zapdos in place. So now Brandon needs to put a tool on his Roaring Moon to give it more HP. He needs to get 3 energies onto it, which is a Dark Patch, a Sada, and an attachment. And then he needs to switch that Radiant Greninja, and he needs a Stadium. So he just needs basically everything that you could possibly ever need all in one go, and I don't think he has any of that in his hand. He's eyeing up that Moltres. He does have the Forest Seal Stone still in hand. Hasn't used V-Star Power yet. "17, 16, 15 on the clock." Like I said, I would have been very surprised if we needed it. It's interesting seeing the transition of facial expressions here from that game 1, game 2. Brandon very comfortable, very happy. Now it is not looking so good for him. Oh, he's got nothing in hand? Can he find? Oh my god. Okay, so he's going to hope that the Pokemon cannot be switched out. That Radiant Greninja. He's going to be considering motivating here. It makes sense. He can afford to lose 2 more prizes and basically set up a checkmate situation. If that Raichu stays alive, it is super dangerous to have it active. Like, what do you do here? Okay, time has been called. I don't know if the Gregory, I believe, will be turned 0 by the looks of it. I don't see any die yet determining that. He has slowed his pace of play down, so that does usually indicate. And he's going to motivate. Oh, okay, he's creating. Oh, no. I was going to say, is he going to crit the Frenzy Gouging Checkmate? And turn 1 for Brandon. Needs to draw the absolute nuts. Unfortunately, I don't believe he has drawn the nuts just yet. Oh my god, I see a Battle VIP and a Town Store. Holy smokes, that is not good. That is not good at all. Now that means that the Roaring Moon cannot straight away be knocked out. It's going to get that tool onto the Roaring Moon to give it 290 HP, and he's now going to be an energy behind because he's going to use one to retreat the Squawkabilly. But he would just attach Dynamotor. He has the energy in hand, so this is looking like it is going to be all Gregory. It's looking all Gregory at the moment. There's the big tool. He's just waiting to. Yeah, he's just looking for the tie. He needs a. Okay, yeah, he can actually just go and find the. He can just go and find the escape rope, can he? Or does he have none left? Is there no boss? That's not super relevant where that energy's going, brother. You can just seal stone now, right? That's your Dynamotor return. We're going to seal stone. There's the boss, and it's going to be game for sure. He just does a lot of damage, and it's game. And it goes to Gregory there. So after a really interesting game 1 and game 2, an even more interesting game 3. I don't think anyone would have seen that coming with the way that went, that game 2. Holy moly. Missing 3 of 4 generators, pulling it back. Mad props to Gregory there for pulling that. You got to hand it to him. That was really well played. An interesting exhibition of how this version of Miraidon actually works. And that's going to about do it here for this video, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've actually really enjoyed watching it. That was a cool matchup and 2 decks that I really enjoy. So make sure you stay tuned for more San Antonio games. I'm going to be watching it, probably not live because it happens at such a silly o'clock for me. But here we are seeing just a quick replay there. The Frenzy Gouging. And there's that Raikou. Gregory, fair play to Gregory, like recognizing quite early that actually having that Raikou in play with a Seal Stone on it is super dangerous because it can just get completely slapped into oblivion. And this is game 2. Frenzy Gouging once again. But again, I've got to say, as a Roaring Moon fan, a diehard Roaring Moon fan, I don't know if that's the build, man. I know it come 9th at Stuttgart. I respect that, but it just doesn't feel like the build. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't feel like the one. The one. We'll see. We'll see. And one of my buddies and teammates would completely scold me for that, as he did yesterday. No, Friday actually. I'm recording this on Sunday. You know, it's a tested deck. It does win. We know it wins. It's come 9th. Yeah, I understand. But it just feels bad. You know, when it just feels bad. We're just seeing that here. Anyway, yeah, I am going to go now. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Thank you.